Those black folks in Alabama that owned 156 acres of land in 1890. They're one of the few that started this property. It's been here since that, you know. The house was a two-room house about a block behind this. Only 2 rooms, and it was a little bit of room, number 3, that was built off to the side, that I was told, which was totally 3 rooms. It was built out of logs. Logs was stacked on top of each other. I seen it when I was a boy when it got tore down. It was logs that was stacked up on top of each other. It was very small for 13, I think it was 13 kids. Dr. Benson, Neal Benson, Pet Benson, and the women, there were 13 kids that was born in that house. They all survived. They were raised properly, and they went off and journeyed and pursued their career, worked their job, and produced offspring that are here today because of Sally and Eugenia Benson. 1950, Sally Benson passed away in 1949, so I heard. I never saw him. Pat Benson, Doc Benson, Mars Benson, the son, had this house built in 1950 for their mother. So then they moved her down here to this house in 1950. Wasn't no electric light until 1950. They had all those kids up there in the house with no electric light. That switches didn't come out here until 1948 or 49. But this is where we at with the family. And some of us can't see back to 1900. I can't even see back to 1900. That's been a long time ago now. That's when this family started off around 1900 up here. And I just want to say, it's a blessing. It's been a blessing, and a blessing is going to continue on. And after you can feel free to look around. We want maybe 5 or 6 to come in at a time. If you want to come in and look around in the house, we want not no whole lot of people, because the old house, to go in and look at the same time. On the right side going in, the first room was the living room. The next room was the dining room. The back room on the right was the kitchen. And the 3-bedroom was on the right-hand side going down. But now we got our cousin hunters here, so they got their stuff in here. They use it as a camp house for like hunters and different things. So they got their stuff in here, so the original stuff that was here, furniture, is not here any longer. You know, like antique stuff. It was some antique stuff here back in they had back in the 50s. But none of that is here. So you feel welcome to look through and look around, you know, and at your own will. And we want the one and only Neal Benson to say something, because he was here before I was. So he can be able to shine some light on Sally Benson, because I never met Sally Benson.
Yeah, I met my grandfather some time back. My Uncle Doc used to bring us down here. My daddy didn't have a car, but every 2 or 3 weeks, Uncle Doc would get a family and bring them down here. Then the next week, he'd bring another family down. And I used to come down quite often. And when we turned here, the house was about, I said was about 5 miles back there. That's the way it looked. But then it was cotton all the way from here back to the house. You could see the house because cotton doesn't grow that high. And they had cotton everywhere. My uncle had 75 acres of land that's adjoining in this land. We had 159 plus, so it's 160 acres of land here. I paid the tax on it this year. The tax on it is $520, I believe. So the taxes have been paid for this year. We'll take care of the tax next year. But it's a wonderful thing to have the family to come down here and hunt. They hunt every week. They deer hunt here all the time.
During the hunting season, yeah.
During the hunting season. So it's just a blessing to have this kind of land. And we get letters all the time about white folks want to buy it, you know. And I just tell them it's not for sale. This is the Benson land. You know, we're going to keep this. And right now we are working on a family trust. We're trying to get it on a family trust so we'll have it for a long time. The lawyer in Marion is working on that right now. Once we get into the family trust, then we don't have to worry about nobody trying to sell it, you know. So it's just a blessing to have land down here. It looked bad. It looked bad because it's all weeded up. But what happened, we didn't spread and burn it after we sold the timber. We sold the timber about 2 years ago. And now we got to come back in here They're going to clean it out and spray it and burn it, and then plant some more trees in here to sell. It's about 15 years between planting and selling. So it's going to be a long time before we get any money out the deal. So there are some companies that I'm in touch with now. I think Rod is in touch with them. Black companies, they can give you money to keep your land, help you pay the taxes, and help you do things around. Maybe try to get you some kind of business here. Let me tell you one thing happened. Rod was working on a solar farm here, and we went up to Tennessee. Where's Rod? We went up. I'm gonna let you tell it there. You want to tell it? I'll tell it. Yeah. We met a fella down in Georgia that had a solar farm. It was 150 acre solar farm, nothing but solar panels, you know. And we got in touch with this fellow, and they invited us up to Nashville, Tennessee. We went up and we went through the motion, we went through the plants, and we kind of thought we had it going on. And some kind of way, we don't really know what happened, you know. But white people don't want us to have anything. I guess y'all know that. I hope you do. And I think when the word got around that we were black, they kind of blackballed us, you know. So that was an interesting experience for me, because you know, to go through the process and then you don't get anything out the deal, you know.
Yeah, right.
But it would have been enough money for all of us here. We could have just got that solar farm here. 150 acre solar farm produce a lot of money. So we're not going to stop on that. We're going to keep working on it.
That's right. That's right.
As soon as we get things straight. Okay. Any questions? Hey, Dal.
Hey. 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 Yeah. We in church.
Yeah.
Matt, Pickney, and Sally were born back there?
No.
No. This was just your father,
My great
your
grandmother. They
great-great-father.
wasn't born here. Best we know, Eugenia was born in between Birmingham and Huntsville. Eugenia was. Now, how did they get? My kids looked it up on the computer. Eugenia, the patent was born between Birmingham and Huntsville. Now, how did they get down here? I don't know. And they said that Benson was down here. The store that we stopped at, we're going to stop there going back. The store that where we pulled off, some of y'all, we pulled off the road at. That was a white man plantation. Go back to the 1700s. That slave there, the slave house to the right of the road there. The Benson was born on that plantation. Now, we don't know. I have been told that it was 9 brothers to Sally Benson. They left here and went to different places. Some of them never been up here. When they left the town from the slave, people were running. When they started to leave the plantation, they left, and some of them went different places, and they never come back to check on their brothers and sisters. So that's what happened.
Okay. Makes sense. Yep.
I never heard about the 9 brothers.
I've been told it was 9 brothers.
I never heard about that.
Yeah.
I just heard about Doc Pettis and my dad.
No, that's granddad.
My granddad, I mean.
That-
I just heard
we
about
talking
him.
about
I just heard about Sally and Matt.
Right, smack.
And I got a chance to know Uncle Matt. Uncle Matt lived in Rosedale for a long time. I got a chance to see him. I used to see him every day.
But you didn't see no pictures of him, right? Was he tall? Or was
No,
he
they
short?
was all short.
They was all,
They was
okay.
short. My grandmother was taller than all of them. You know,
Oh,
she was a tall one.
okay.
All right. Can't hear you.
Any picture? He said any picture. No, we don't have a whole lot of pictures on them. I hadn't seen a whole lot of pictures. Now, there's some pictures on Eugenia, but I don't know of a whole lot of pictures on Sally Benson. The men wasn't taking a whole lot of pictures back in that time.
We have a picture of Sally
You
and
got one.
Gina.
Right,
You
right.
see it tonight. It will be
Okay.
on the table.
Okay. Right. Matt Benson, no.
No.
We got no pictures.
No. I'm going to check with Osa because they've been trying to get a picture of Uncle Matt. And Osa would be the one that would have one if there was one out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You say you're doing the timber. What's plan B just in case the timber don't make it?
What you say?
What's plan B in case the timber don't work out of the land?
What we gonna do?
If you don't do timber.
Can the younger generation pitch in on the trust?
On the cannabis,
Trust is just to get the land straight.
Right, I understand that part, but if you said the timber, what is plan B just in case the timber doesn't?
Sell.
Say it.
If the timber don't sell.
All right. My name Rod. So what happened is, what they saying, the trees, they just grow.
Right, I understand.
The timber is always gonna be there every 15 years. But then it's like every 15 years for some money generate. Right now, I think about roughly every time it's a timber sale, like 85 people get paid and distributed throughout their branch of the family, right?
Right.
So what he's saying is we trying to find a better business investment
Right, I'm just
than
saying.
the timber. But the timber, like every 15 years, it's always grow.
Right, but I'm saying since we have a bigger generation now, is it possible that it can get filled in to help them?
Well, see, that's why we trying to get the, that's why we trying to get,
Some more ideas.
that's why we running through different business ideas. The solar energy would have paid us big. Because when we first started pursuing the solar energy project, it wasn't that many solar energy projects. But what happened, because we were very early. I mean, we came through so early, we shocked them, and they put a block on us, you know, because they weren't expecting us to come. We was very organized, and we was on the verge of making it happen, and so, you know, we kind of ran into the normal strategic opponents. You know what I mean, for this area of the country.
Yeah.
And so we ran into it, but it was a great experience to even get as high as we did. But, you know, we got other business projects, like we working with the Southern Cooperation of Farmers, and we trying to work, that's what he's saying. Those are the kind, we working with these groups to try to develop more projects. It could be any kind of project. It could be growing corn, growing wheat, growing hemp, possibly cannabis. You know, it's no limit to the kind of projects we can embark upon because of the fact that we got the land. You know what I mean? If something happens, then we can take advantage of it
And use it.
You know what I mean? And so our stance generally is that we ain't selling the land ever because as long as we got it there, we all got a part of something.
Yes, utilize
And even if we use it for a business venture, we more or less gonna lease the land, not sell the land. See, so it gotta be something that's gonna be productive. It's gotta be beneficial for all of us and into the future. So, you know, we just kind of researching projects as they come on our plate.
So do we, can we
let me say something real fast. Can I intervene real fast? We got people in our I'm from Cleveland. We all family, but we have people that's right here, right now, that are affiliated in the Biden administration, right here, right now. You don't see them, but they right here, right now. I'm talking about they right here, right now, that are affiliated with the Biden administration where we can make development happen in any aspect.
Yeah.
Whether it's cannabis, whether it's development with real estate, whatever the mind can envision, we have that, right? We have connections because one thing that we have to do, we got to communicate with one another and exchange information and say, this is what I do. 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 Because teamwork makes the dream work.
Hey,
There's
John.
people right here, right now, to ad-lib on what John is saying, as far as what can really transpire and what can really happen right here.
I didn't get to the gist of what your question was. I want you to reiterate it for me.
No, I was just asking about the basically the second plan B. You said timber. I said basically timber. If it doesn't work out, I mean, And then you say funds. Funds is the most important thing. So since we had a bigger generation down here, can we contribute and help out? You see what I'm saying? And get something going like that.
Yeah.
It makes things better than say, hey, we can give you 1% back.
Okay, that's why I wanted to address your okay, first, plan timber is plan A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's just cost.
Right.
Plan B is anything else that we as a group, okay, plan B is anything else that we decide as a group that we want to pursue as a project. And historically, it just kind of came up, the solar just came up because I ran into somebody and somebody, but going forward, we probably need to put together a think tank. Because it's a whole lot of ideas.
A committee.
You know what I'm saying?
A
that
committee
we
or something.
Can embark upon, and then the bank add that to what he was saying. It's probably resources that we didn't know about before, but we weren't really actively pursuing anything. It just kind of came our way. But now going forward, we know that we got value, and so as a put together think tank and a method of all of us corresponding with each other, then we're gonna find the right project to move everything forward.
And and you have to let it be known. I know we got to move on real. I know, but real quick, you got to let it be known. You got to make an introduction. John's from Cleveland. He's in the real estate. He has property. That's why he's talking about it. He's in the real estate and property and things like that. So you got to let that be known, so we know that you're not just talking out of. Just to be talking, that people know what your value to this whole development.
We'll work together.
Right.
We'll go on for. Hey, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot probably.